Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. When we look at horoscope analysis and when we look at how the relationship between houses, signs, planets, dignity of the planets, the strengths of the certain yogas, the doshas, all they get connected, we also look at some basic techniques. Say for example, if you're looking at the lagna of a person who is born in a Scorpio ascendant, then certain signs will be related to certain houses. And so using the houses being the karakas of certain areas of life, it becomes easy for also to predict, not by virtue of the planetary placements alone, but also which sign energies rule what houses. Parashara has made this very clear in his Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, saying that if you are born in a certain lagna, what challenges you may face because of being born in that lagna. But many of these shlokas that I mentioned are at a very generic level. It doesn't mean, for example, if you are born in a Capricorn ascendant, everybody will face that challenge perfectly, or there is a guarantee that challenge will happen, or it is a guarantee that particular goodness will happen to you. So there are a lot of generic shlokas also in the Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra and many other astrological books also. So when you look at predictions, don't get too overawed by the ascendant that you are born in, because the ascendant is a way of life, is an approach of life. To an extent, it can be also related to the purpose of life, but the purpose of life is not given only by your ascendant. Then everybody's purpose of life would be the same. There is not too much truth in that. The direction that you need to face or need to move towards a certain area is definitely dependent on the ascendant. For example, if Cancer is your ascendant, then your purpose of your life has to be served through nurturing, through helping, through supporting, through empathy. But empathy is not your purpose of life. But to achieve whatever is your purpose of life through empathy, through support, that is how they are related. Now somebody mentioned, many people mentioned in the comment section different things. Somebody mentioned, can you do blank chart predictions? Now many astrologers have these videos on blank chart predictions also, but the reason why blank chart predictions, I don't believe too much in them, though I will give you some techniques how you can do blank chart predictions, is because what is a blank chart prediction? You take a certain ascendant, and in that ascendant these things may happen to you. Say for example, if you're born in Aries, these are 5 things may happen to you. If you're born in Taurus, these things may happen to you. It's a blank chart. You're not even seeing planetary placement, nothing. You're not even seeing dasha, nothing you're seeing. You're just seeing what the ascendant is and you're predicting. Now a person may be wowed, how can this person, not even knowing about planetary placement, how can he make those predictions? Now those predictions will not be, there is no guarantee that will happen. The predictions are being made based on just what are the sign energies related to a certain house and what are the karakas of that particular house, and so it gives you certain degree of probability, no guarantee, not even an assurance, some degree of probability that there is a tendency that may happen. But is there a guarantee that may happen? No. Now how are they made? So if you ask me, somebody, as I said, was asking me to do blank chart predictions, maybe thinking, can I do a blank chart prediction like other astrologers and trying to compare and all that. I don't believe in trying to wow you or whatever. So that's why I don't do that. I will not use dramatic language and all. This will happen, if that has happened, you eat this, then this will happen. I will not get into all that. I will give you genuinely what I think will work for you, and my focus is generally serve humanity, do something good, leave a good legacy behind, serve your elders, seek blessings of your elders, serve your gurus, do good, believe in doing good, and try and do as much as for others and leave the rest to Supreme Almighty, the Supreme Energy. That's it. That's my philosophy, and that's what I tell you in every video. I will not give you much more than that. I may give you certain techniques also and my own research, but I will not get into trying to flabbergast you through blank chart predictions, all that. So, or using a prashna to say, oh, you must be thinking about this, oh, you must have done this yesterday, oh, your phone must have broken. I will not get into that. That is not much, that is not very difficult to do. If you're trying to market yourself or trying to convince people, or seeking some something on YouTube, or trying to get it. I had done that. My subscribers today, I think it's 6,800 or whatever. I would have reached maybe 60,000-70,000, who knows. So I'll give you a technique how to do blank chart predictions and how they are given. Though I would not advise you to use this, because this is only small chance that it may happen. Now, if somebody is born in Aries, start with the Kalapurush Kundi. If somebody is born in Aries, then Aries is the Lagna. Aries is your thinking power. Aries is also your ability to do things with energy, with motivation, with willpower. Second house is Taurus, also related to food, tribe, principles, values, being a little stubborn and all that. So the second house and Taurus energies are coming together with the Karaka. So you are associating Taurus with food, with money, with savings, with livelihood, with principles, values, all that. Third house, Gemini. Third house is also for short journeys, neighbors, younger siblings, marketing, self-enterprise, how you brand yourself, how you communicate, and challenges, and also all of these, and also related to the limbs, hands, and doing certain things with the hands, skills that you do with the hands. All these get related to the third house and Gemini energies, which means Gemini energies will also have or be the Karaka of these. So all you do is relate those Karakas with the house. So now, for example, if Taurus goes into the fifth house, what is the fifth house? The fifth house is the house of arts, public performances, education, speculative investments, children, romance. Now, how you add Taurus energies with the fifth house? So you may say fifth house is the house of speculation, second house energies, Taurus energies, food, earning. So you can tell somebody, and because the fifth house is also the house of doing something that you love to do or what you have interest in. So you may say, if you do something, because Taurus sign, livelihood, earning is going into the fifth house of what you love to do. If you do something that you love to do, then you will earn more. So then you can say, for a person, now who will have Taurus sign going into the fifth house? That will be the Capricorn ascendant person. So now you are telling a Capricorn ascendant person that if you, for Capricorn ascendant people, you have a high chance of earning your livelihood through something that you love to do, through education, through speculative investments. Also you can do better. Making a career or being in a career which is related to finance, IT, computers, also you can do better. Why are you saying that? Because now the seventh house has Libra energies, which is ruled by Venus for a Capricorn ascendant native, and Taurus energies, which is also ruled by Venus, is going into the fifth house. So now Venus rules the 10th house for a Capricorn ascendant native and rules the fifth house. So two very important houses, a Kendra house and a trine house. So you are associating the 10th house of career and the 8th house to the 10th house, which is the fifth house, to changes, opportunities, even obstacles, and then associating that with the second house energies of livelihood, because Taurus also, which is ruled by Venus, also has the second house energy. So you're combining the fifth house or doing something that you love to do, or in speculative investments or money or finance or IT or computers, all that are connected to Venus, to the second house of earning. So you can tell somebody who's born in the Capricorn ascendant that I don't need to see your horoscope, I don't even need to see the planetary places, but I tell you, if you do this, you have a high chance of success. Now if somebody has really quit doing their job and all, they have picked up some vocation which they truly love to do, and they do it with wholehearted dedication. Obviously what happens is, when you do something with wholehearted dedication, then the chances of you getting successful is much higher. That is obvious. And because you love to do it, you also gain more expertise, you also get better, so you do it better than the others also. And because there is a lot of dedication, you don't think too much of time, because you are enjoying what you are doing, you love what you are doing, and you are good at it. And when you are talking to people, you can also convince people, because there is a lot of passion which is coming in. So somebody who is very passionate about sports, when that person tries to convince you to invest in a certain venture, then because the person comes from the background, he or she has so much energy, passion, and is so highly motivated, you feel okay, I should go with this, because you also feel that energy. The person exudes that energy. So you relate the ascendant with which sign is going into that house and connect the karakas, and that's what you say. That's what you tell people. I'll give you another example. Aries ascendant native, which is the 9th house. 9th house has Sagittarius, okay, for the Kalpurush. So you start with the Kalpurush always. Then you go to the 9th house, which has Sagittarius energies. 9th house is also long distance travel. 9th house is also adventure, traveling long distance, working with different culture people, and also higher learning, gurus. So if Sagittarius becomes the ascendant now, you don't need to worry about all the planetary placement. Just look at Sagittarius being the ascendant. If Sagittarius is the ascendant, what becomes the 9th house? Now Leo sign becomes the 9th house. Now Leo sign also has what energies? Education. Now one sign of education, which is Leo, which is the 5th house also, is going into the other sign and house of education. Leo sign is going into the 9th house. So one education house or sign going into the other education house. So now the probability that through education this person may do something, or through a long distance travel, that may come about because the 9th house itself has gone into the Lagna. Sagittarius has gone into the Lagna, and Sagittarius carries long distance education or long distance travel. So then to tell this person that there is a high chance that you may take a foreign degree, you may travel far distance from your place of birth for a higher degree or for education, there is a great chance. And obviously, because nowadays people have to move out of small places and they go out of their cities also, and they travel far to get better and better education. And today's trend is also to get education traveling abroad or to get higher education. There are also a lot of universities where you may not need to travel outside of the country, but you may still get a foreign degree, which is also about the 9th house. So somebody may say, but Guruji, if you're calling the astrology, I never travel long distance. Then the Guru will say, yeah, but do you have any degree which is connected to foreign universities? You may say, yeah, I did some online certification. That's it. That's how you connect. And that's how the prediction is also done, where you connect the sign energy with the house energy and with the specific Lagna. That is the blank chart prediction, nothing else. However, for every Sagittarius ascendant, will somebody absolutely go abroad and get an education? Will absolutely have a foreign degree? Is it possible? The chances that a Sagittarius person may do a foreign degree or may go abroad may be higher than the others, but there is no guarantee. So that's why, because the probability is slightly higher, a few more number of people who have Sagittarius ascendant, who you may get, who have foreign degrees or have traveled to foreign lands or working with foreign companies or connected to foreign cultures, may be high. So you may say that. Now you may add the 5th sign of romance also to the 9th house. You may say you may have met somebody who is your current girlfriend, or you fell in love with, or you like the person, or you approach the person through a long distance travel, or you may met her at an educational institute. So these things you can connect and you can say. Or some people, you may say that whatever you love to do, for example, if you do business connected to stationery, what is the 5th house? Education. 9th house or printing also. 5th house is also books. So you are connecting books, printing, education, and with fate and luck, and you're saying if you do that, you may also earn money. So you connect the ascendant, you connect the sign energies to a house, and then you predict. That's it. And because the karaka of the energies are also carried to that house, so the chances that that particular ascendant may have gone through that event higher than the other ascendants is slightly higher. The probability of that event happening in that particular ascendant's life will be higher than the other ascendant because of these connections. That's how blank chart predictions are done. The thing great about it, you can convince people, you may wow people, you may attract some business out of it, you may market yourself, you may brand yourself, you may just attract some more subscriptions, but it doesn't help much. You may try to help convince people and wow people so that the person believes you and ready to shell out the money or whatever, I don't know. I'm not belying somebody's intentions. That is not my job here. My job is to tell you, don't fall for these tricks if somebody is giving, whether on YouTube or in front of you, whatever. Don't fall for this. You and I, any of us can do these blind chart prediction. What is important is what you do with that knowledge. So a lot of people who get in touch with me, they also say we are interested in learning astrology. We have been learning astrology not only from your channel but from many other channels, which is a good thing. But my request to you is only this: don't use these techniques to convince some people, to wow people, or to flabbergast people, or to show, see, I'm so good. So don't try using these tricks to flabbergast people, convince people, show these, see how good I am, I can do this, I can do that. This is anybody who's done basics of astrology can easily do this. I don't do all of this because I don't think so it really serves the purpose. The purpose of learning astrology, especially for those people who are seriously learning astrology because they are interested in that or they want to use that for their own life. So astrology first and foremost is not only for your use, it is also to use that to improve the lives of people around you. And astrology was used by people who were literate, by educated. A lot of people in the olden times were not literate, they didn't know how to read and write. So those people who were learned were given the knowledge of the literacy so that they could help people around them also, and they could help them also lead better lives. The main purpose of astrology is to use that to do good. Avoid challenges in your life, so that if you avoid challenges, issues, mental trauma, then you can focus on the better things. And if your life is good, then you can also help others, you can support others, and through that serve humanity and serve the supreme energy. There is no purpose of life, no greater purpose of life than to serve others, to improve the life of others by improving your life also, but eventually trying to help as many people as possible, and then through that being able to serve the supreme energy itself. That is the main purpose. Astrology should only be used for that, not to gain a lot of moolah and money. The second thing, Parashara also says, in fact in the first few shlokas itself, that please pay the astrologer when you are seeking service. And I'll tell you why. The astrological science has been given to people to be able to help others, but they also have a livelihood. I may not be doing astrology for livelihood. For that, my management consulting, almost 25 years of my management consulting, having headed OD, organization development, HR in various companies, even MNC companies like Bank of America, IBM and others. That all is there, and I do a lot of management consulting programs for many companies even today. So that is something that I earn my livelihood or whatever from. I have quit working for a company because I felt I was not able to give my time to make these astrological videos also, and I've quit that, and I do more on a consulting basis, my management consulting program, so that I get more time for myself also, for my research, family time, and also to be able to use, because this astrological videos or astrology was a passion which I was doing since almost 35 to 40 years, but I had not contributed or given back. So this was my chance that since last 3 years I've been doing that, is to give back, to share my knowledge that I've acquired to others. But this knowledge has not come to me just through going through gurus or books, but it also comes through research, it also comes through experiences, it also comes through keeping your eyes open, and it also comes through the supreme energy giving you that learning. You don't choose astrology, it is said that astrology chooses you. So whoever the supreme energy wants to choose you so that you help others, it chooses you and it gives you that learning better. So many astrologers also work on intuition, and they have great intuition, and this works to the advantage of people who are truly blessed by the supreme energy. The intuition will tell you where to look, because there are so many things which contribute to an analysis. The gut feeling, the intuition will tell you, look here, look there, look at this particular placement, delve deeper here. So when you open a horoscope, your eyes automatically go to those places which will tell you more about a person. So that intuition is given only by years and years of service When you're serving, when you're giving back and you're doing it with ethical means and a true intention of helping others, then that intuition also comes in, where you also get better and your prediction, your analysis also comes true. So delve into astrology, more to learn about astrology, to use that to your advantage and for the advantage of people around you, for your family, for your friends, for your well-wishers, and then maybe to others also. But if you're learning it seriously, try and help as many people as possible. But if you're going to an astrologer for consulting services, do give him don't try to hoodwink an astrologer that I will not pay him, I will go to 4 or 5 astrologers, I'll tell each one of them a sob story, I'll get as many predictions as possible, then I'll tell you what happens. Astrology is a very, very sacred science. It's a sacred art. If you do that, and Parashara in the astrological book Shloka said, please pay them, then the remedies given to you, the predictions will still may come true, because the astrologer is telling you what may come true. But if some remedies the person is telling you, do this or do that, they will not come true for you. They will not be helping you, and that prediction will not be helpful to you for the long run. If somebody tells you that you may get a job, I don't want to scare you, but I'm telling you this is genuinely my experience, and this is said in the astrological books. Whether you come to me for consultation or go to anybody, pay something to the astrologer when you're using the astrological services from an astrologer. Don't try to if you can't give, say you can't give, but do ensure that you give whatever is the services of the astrologer. Do give. If you have it, if you have more, don't try to haggle for money and all, say, oh, I can't give you that much. If you already have, yet you're trying to save some pennies, please don't do that. This is a very, very sacred science. Any astrologer you go to, go genuinely, go to seek predictions, go to seek help, or to seek learning. You may negotiate if you want, but if you have the money, please don't haggle hard. Just ensure that from deep within you feel what you're giving this person truly deserves. If you don't get that feeling, then it's a different thing. But if you truly feel that this person deserves, not what is the market for, this person charges 1,000, this person charges 2,000, why should I give this person 2,000 when the market is, there is no market for astrology. If you genuinely feel the prediction somebody is giving, the time somebody is giving, that person deserves that money, give him. The other thing, don't go for all these online things where they tell you, okay, you pay per minute and then we will do on the spot predictions. Now, what the problem with on the spot predictions is that when somebody is sitting even with your horoscope, they are seeing it then and there, and you are saying, okay sir, can I go abroad? And then yeah, 9,000, 12,000, yeah, you may go abroad. They may not have really looked into the dignity of the planets. They may not have looked into your long distance travel opportunities. They may not have looked into the dasha. When you are doing on the spot, you may not have done a deep analysis. There are various ways to look at something. Plus, just long distance travel is not enough. You may also need to tell them whether the long distance travel will happen or not and will be fruitful for them or not. Some people may come and ask me, can I do this? I want to go abroad. Can I go next year? I'm trying to go. I will tell them, yeah, you can go. But I will also tell them the pitfalls. If they go there, what may happen. So that warning helps them in the long run. Then that is the true purpose of astrology. Not just to tell them yes or no, or this will happen or this will not happen. But what are the pitfalls, how they can avoid, what are the fallacies, what are the challenges, what are the good opportunities may come by. Some people may come, do I get a job, when will I get a job? So I will tell them, you may get a job in 3 months, 4 months, but I would tell them that don't be in a hurry, you may get a better one coming February. The person didn't ask me whether he should wait till February. All he asked me was, when will I get a job? I can just stop at telling him in 3 months, 4 months you can get your job, and I can stop it. But the job of an astrologer is to go a step forward and to look more deeper and then give a prediction. So all these online things, 1 rupee, 10 rupees per minute, 30 minutes, so much charge, please go do that. Don't go to these snapshot predictions, on the spot predictions. I mean, online one, I'll pay you so much and you tell me, because generally enough of deep analysis has not been done. I don't know of anybody who is so good on the spot they can tell you. Maybe a few people are able to do it, but all these website oriented ones who are very, very commercial, try and avoid paying them because you think these are I can get a prediction for very less money. Why should I go to any other astrologer where I'm paying him high, talking to him and all? I can just make a phone call, put some money in that account, talk to them, and then it's done. We try to get more bang for the buck. So in some time, in so much time, I'll ask as many questions as possible. I'll get many predictions. But what has happened? You are trying to ask 3-4 things within that 30-minute gap or whatever is been given to you. How much analysis, deep analysis, has that person been able to do who you have asked 6-7 questions within that 30-40 minutes? Just think about it. So here, don't get into that. Even if you don't pay an astrologer much, go to a genuine astrologer who takes time to look into your horoscope, says I want to do a deep analysis. Please come back to me tomorrow or day after, or I'll send you the analysis, because there is a greater chance that person has given more attention to your horoscope, looked into it deeply, and then given you the prediction. So the reason for me making this video is to tell you there are ways to convince people, to wow people, to show all these tricks. Don't fall for these tricks. Don't fall for trying to make a fast buck using these tricks. If you are a student of astrology, don't fall for these commercialization through websites and all. They may not serve your purpose. If you're doing astrology, do it genuinely, do it to help yourself and to help people around you, and to serve the greater humanity, and so that you are able to give back your legacy through goodness, through helping people, and through helping people serving the supreme energy. So friend, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the links given below. And till some other time, some other video, this is your friend Astrologer and Guide Irfan signing off.